Chelsea in the Premier League next season will be Brighton and Hove Albion, who finished second in the Championship after narrowly missing out the year before. They haven't played in the top division of English football since 1983, the year they lost in the FA Cup final and were relegated. It's been a long journey back.
We are a club that have been knocking on the door of the Premier League for the last 5 seasons.
It's an exciting time for the club and we're looking forward to testing ourselves in the Premier League.
The connection with the supporters and the wider community has always been very strong here at Brighton.
Each time I wear it, we score.
Just amazing. After everything that's happened.
Epic.
Amazing.
It's been 34 years waiting.
It's unbelievable.
I think everybody has always looked at Brighton as a nice club. One thing that we've been delighted is that people have found out things about Brighton but perhaps in the history of the club that they didn't know.
Come on, you seagulls, we'll follow you. Come on, you seagulls, we'll see.
No club ever before has had the imagination to use the modern travel being employed by Brighton today.
Welcome aboard Flight Seagull 1, Brighton's flight into a piece of cup final history. And this is the same helicopter that was used for the Pope's visit. Any significance?
Well, the Brighton people kept saying that good enough for the Pope, it's good enough for Jimmy Amelia.
This is the FA Cup final, 1983 against Manchester United. The first game was amazing. The atmosphere, the crowd, the number of Brighton supporters.
Number 8, Howlett, chipping one in for Gordon Smith. It's there! Gordon Smith for Brighton after 14 minutes. Right side, Stapleton. Manchester United equalise, and Wilkins has scored one, and that's absolutely magnificent. Pace with the corner. He's pulled it back to Grealish. Little touch for Stevens. 2-2. Gary Stevens equalises with 3 minutes to go.
Ball played forward to Robinson. Robinson going forward strong. He's inside the Manchester United penalty area. He finds Smith, and Smith must score, and he hasn't scored, and Bailey has saved it.
That was the moment. That was the moment. First time I've been to a cup final. The only time I've been to a cup final, apart from the replay, which I'd rather not talk about.
Arnold Nuren makes it 4-0.
Very recently we had the 20th anniversary of the last ever game at the Goldstone Ground, when Brighton were fighting for their Football League lives. The game ended with them winning, but the fans tearing up the ground. A week later they went to Hereford for a relegation decider. If they'd lost that game, and they were losing at one stage, they'd have been out of the Football League. So 2 decades on, to be in a position where they are now is pretty extraordinary.
I think it was one of the first times that a club's ownership had almost sold the club from under its own feet and behind the supporters' backs, and I think that sense of betrayal was deeply felt, not just by the fans but by the wider football community, because if it could happen to a club like Brighton, it could happen to anyone.
Incredibly, 4 motorways to get to a home game. You know, an hour and 20 there, hour and 20 back. 2,000 diehards to watch games at Gillingham. You know, this was their home ground at that stage before Dick Knight at least got them back to the city with Dean.
It wasn't ideal, but it was ours. We definitely had the advantage over the away teams. I don't think they fancied it, and I think their fans sat about 50 yards away from the pitch.
It was somewhere that I just thought, oh yeah, someone plays football there, and that's where my school sports day is. And it, you know what I mean, it was nothing. Now we're here, it's It's unbelievable.
This is our vision. No viable alternative to Falmer exists in our local area.
I had it painted blue quite a few years ago now. You've got to back them, you've got to support your local team. They've had great times. And I think they've done so well to get where they are now. The players we've got are all fitted in, and they're a great team. They really are. It's like a family there, actually.
This club has gone through a struggle, and of course when you go through that struggle you either come through it or you don't.
We're still a very humble club. We've not got aspirations to go into the Premier League and take it by storm. In terms of infrastructure, we've got a great stadium. We've got work to do in the summer to improve the facilities. The training ground is world class, probably one of the best 3 or 4 in the country. So those key pieces are largely in place. We've got a very good squad. We've got a very good manager who's got Premier League experience. And the great thing is everyone's very excited to get there and to start the work.
We will need to strengthen because we are going into the toughest league to play in, but I don't see wholesale changes, and we mustn't take away a lot of what we've had, the team spirit, togetherness this season, and similar to what we've done in the last few windows, just add that bit of quality that's needed.
Our gaffer plays a massive part in it. He never gets too high, never gets too low, and that goes for everyone around him as well. It's worked wonders for us.
Tony is a lifelong Brighton fan, devoted a vast part of his fortune getting this club to be ready for the Premier League because he sets the tone, he has very strong values about the way he likes things to be done, and that's reflected throughout the rest of the club.
I think ultimately it has to be about staying up. And I think if you're able to come away from that first Premier League season and be happy overall, then I think that would be enough.
Losing the Goldstone and going to Gillingham, the Withdean, and then coming here, it's just perfect.
You go back to the dark days at Withdean where you were getting soaking wet every game that you went to. To come here on this stadium is just unbelievable.
If we model ourselves on either Southampton or Stoke, we'll be fine.
I'm so excited, I can't wait. I'm wearing the hat every day.